Don, time for our weekly, almost daily question here on ESPN FC. Should Ole start Pogba in this match?
Listen, do you know what, Sebi? I literally don't know, because against West Ham, in the first 45 minutes, I said in commentary, and I stand by it, and Shaka's been there and Craig's been there, and we've all been there when a manager delivers a team talk at half-time and he has a right go at every single player and he makes 2 changes at half-time and he says, I could have taken any one of you lot off, apart from, in my opinion, Wan-Bissaka against West Ham. He was the only player. And then Paul Pogba in the second half turned into a genius. And it pains me to say it, because Man United can't be a one-man team, but they are. It's all about Bruno Fernandes. As soon as he came onto the pitch, everyone come alive. Rashford come alive. Marshal didn't really fancy the game, but he made 1 or 2 runs. Matic the same. They were just a completely different side when he was in it.
I'll tell you the answer.
Yeah?
No.
Should we make a bet like you and Stevie did?
No, I won't get my money. I won't get it off Don either. I know that, so there's no point. But the answer's no. And I'll tell you why. And what he'll do is, the only way we'll see Paul Pogba, in my opinion, at the weekend, is in desperation.
Right.
You can't have him on the field against a City side that are going to dominate the ball, that are going to shift it around quick, because he's a defensive liability, right? So he's going to have to put dogs in there. He's going to have to put the Freds and the Matic and the McTominays that are going to work. And if City get the upper hand, then we might see Paul Pogba, because it's a desperation thing. It was, it was desperation at Leipzig. He played the first half, as Don said. He played the game at West Ham. He wasn't at fault for their performance, but he was one of numerous guys who didn't play particularly well in the first half. But he won't play because he can't be trusted. He can only be trusted to come on and try and save the manager's backside when they're getting beat. So I will be shocked if he starts at the weekend, purely because, I tell you what, let me put it one way. Pep Guardiola would love it if Paul Pogba starts, because he cannot go and close the ball down, right? He makes bad decisions. He makes bad decisions in his own penalty box with rash challenges. He doesn't get close to people. And if he plays, it'll make it easier for City to pop the ball around that midfield.
Shaka, I see you nodding. What's your take on Pogba?
Listen, I think Paul Pogba is an incredible talent. But for me, things have to be going right. Things have to be all going his way for you to see the best out of Paul Pogba. And I think his agent has scuppered any chance of that. And right now, he becomes a distraction. So until Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, on February 1st, can say to Paul Pogba, you're here till the end of the season at least, and you know that you have his focus between February 1st and the end of the season, I don't start him. And I only use him in desperation, as Craig put it.
I'm kind of slightly contradicting myself here, because probably in shows gone by I've said, for somebody of his talent and all that, and he has got talent. But I'm slightly disagreeing with Shaka here. I don't think... What was the phrase you used there, Shaq, about talent? Was it
He's a distraction.
No, but you said he's an extreme talent or something. I used to think... I don't think he is. I just don't think he is anymore. I mean, Messi, Ronaldo, Kevin De Bruyne, all these guys, they're extreme talents. Guys that pitch up and do it every week. You're not an extreme... You're not a great talent if you're on the bench for this. If you were on the bench for Fergie's Man United team that was winning trebles, yeah, I could get that. This Man United side. So I don't think he is. I think he's morphed into the category of just being a good player. And he's a better player in better teams. I'll give you that, when he goes and plays for France and stuff like that. But I just think he's a good player. He's not a great player that possibly he could be if his attitude and his desire were better. But I don't think he's on the level of a lot of other players around Europe. I really don't think so.
Don, it's an interesting debate. One Robbo chimed in on a couple days ago. Robbo mentioned that he thinks Pogba still is world-class elsewhere. Do you think Pogba's still world-class, Don?
No, I don't, because he doesn't do it every single week or close to that. As the guy said, I think we all recognise when we look at Paul Pogba, you look at him and you think, if you really wanted to be one of the best midfield players in the world, you could be. But when you watch his performances, they're too indifferent. So you can't put him as one of the very, very best, because you're not sure what you're going to get out of him. Some weeks you'd want to play against him because you could run him and you could run him all over the pitch. And defensively, as Craig said, it gives penalties away and he's ill-disciplined. Other weeks, he can turn it on and be brilliant. So you can't be world-class. You can only be world-class if you are doing it most weeks and you are performing to a very high standard in a very high level every single week or close to that. You can't be a 1 in 3, 1 in 4, 1 in 5 player. And we're still having the conversation, is he starting at the weekend? We can't have a conversation about someone who's world class if we're thinking he's going to be sat on the bench.
Agreed.
Yes, I mean, it's like, you know, I know we talk about Pogba a lot, and a lot of times it's because of his agent and other stuff, and, you know, he spends time on the bench, and I completely, I'm on the same page as Don there with this player. I mean, you don't talk about, you know, if Kevin De Bruyne is fit, is he on? No. Is he starting?
If you're world class, you're in the 11.
You're playing. You know, is Kylian Mbappe? Is he going to start for PSG?
Does it fit his game? Yeah.
It's not even a story. But let me put it another way. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer goes to bed tonight, he's not. Pogba's there. He's not even worried about him. Because he knows he's only going to bring him on in desperation. He's worried about the midfield. He's worried about McTominay and Fred and Matic. He's worried about Maguire's defending and Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka going forward. He's worried about De Gea and you know, any little mistakes. He's worried about all these players. He's not worried about... I wouldn't think he's worried about Paul Pogba, because Paul Pogba is a bit of an afterthought for him. Play him against West Ham because I need to give Bruno Fernandes a rest. He's got a knock. Leave him on the bench at Leipzig. I'll bring him on if I'm desperate. That's where he is. He's got other things to concern himself. I bet Solskjaer's not even bothered about Mino Raiola coming out with all this, and he don't really care about it. It's not going to save his job. His job's getting results. So Pogba's there. Pogba's there if he needs him, right? And that's what he's done. Whenever he's needed him, whether it's injuries or losing at half-time, I'll bring him on or I might not bring him on. He might be able to help me. Doesn't trust him to start the game. Don't think we'll see any difference at the weekend.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.